Today's edition of MacVoices is supported by RemoteHQ. Collaborate as if you were in the same room. Visit remotehq.com/partnerships/MacVoices for a free trial and 3 months free when you are ready to launch with your team. Welcome to MacVoices Live on Facebook. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we do this every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, we don't have a particular topic, but we have a full house of panel. It's open mic night. So since this, if you're in the U.S., this is Thanksgiving Eve, it didn't seem right to try to schedule anyone. So we're just going to throw it open and have some discussions and see what comes up. So first off, I want to go around the room and make sure everybody knows who's here. And we have a late arrival coming in. We'll introduce him last. But first up, Mr. David Ginsburg. David, good to see you as always.
Good to see you. Glad to be here. I know we have some fun tonight, as always.
Absolutely. Ms. Kelly Guimont is here. Kelly, welcome.
Hello. I am here live from my shiny new computer.
Cool. Okay. Well, I know what we'll be talking about. Brittany
yes,
Smith
Andrew
is here.
and I came correct. We have several topics.
Brittany Smith is here too.
Hi. I still haven't touched the one that's in my closet.
that's an accomplishment.
I am so proud of myself.
I'm proud of my assistants.
For those of you who weren't here before.
Yeah. I'm proud of my assistants in making this a reality for the last week, by the way.
She's been my sponsor. I call her when I feel tempted.
I see. Okay. Yeah, knock on there. Andrew Orr is back. Gee, this is 2 weeks in a row. Andrew, this is great.
I know, it's a record. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Mr. Frank Petrie is back as well, this time with a new background.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the cereal for Jerry.
Jerry?
It's Seinfeld, Chuck. It's Jerry Seinfeld's apartment.
Oh,
Okay,
no soup for you.
All right.
Oh, 01 Chuck.
Yeah.
02. He tried to call Brittany's background earlier a Star Trek background.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
No, that was a slip of the tongue. That was not in. That was a slip of the tongue. That was.
Well, he
knows
because
better.
of charging his.
I would
mouse.
like to think so, but yeah.
Last but absolutely not least, just joining us, Mr. Guy Serle, just in under the wire. Guy, thanks for being here.
It's so nice to be here also on a new computer.
Oh!
Yeah. I thought you were getting something later on from what I just read.
Oh, I have spent like the last 2 hours connecting things and trying things and getting all the Rogue Amoeba apps to work. And so far, everything is lovely. It's just lovely.
Yeah. I got some of my Rogue Amoeba stuff working.
That's good.
Beta. Yep. The beta ones. Oh, yeah. It's seriously beta. But
today. Oh, yeah.
It works. It worked. You know, I have, besides, of course, my microphone, I also have Farrago going. So, savior of the universe.
4 bars. 4 bars.
That's what. Oh, was it too loud?
No, it's not loud enough.
You just don't want copyright.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it's just like that little, it's that skosh. It's just a skosh.
A skosh? Yeah.
A skosh.
Yeah.
It's way bigger.
4 skoshes and a smidgen and 4 smidgens in a lawsuit, I think.
Well, no. See, multiple skoshes are a scoosh. That's how that works.
Scotia is a town in New York State. I used to live there.
Guy, was that Queen Flash?
Yeah.
I can't say because of copyright, but probably.
Okay. Probably, yeah. Thought I had it. Okay.
It was inspired by.
It was Dave Hamilton.
My God.
It was a really horrible movie, but the song wasn't bad.
It was Dave Hamilton with Bitter
The
Pill.
soundtrack's great. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're going to start out talking about new Macs. So first, let's do it this way. Who has a new MacBook Air? Okay, Guy does.
No.
Who has a new MacBook Pro?
I don't. No, I don't.
Wait, what do you mean no, you don't?
I don't have a MacBook Air.
You have a MacBook Pro?
No.
You got a
mini.
I have an M1 Mac Pro. No, I'm kidding. I have a Mac Mini.
Okay. Let's try this again.
Okay.
Right. Guy has what?
A Mac Mini. 16
Mac
gig,
Mini.
1 terabyte Mac Mini.
Great.
Wow.
Got that established. Okay, Kelly, you have the MacBook Pro M1.
I do. I have a 13-inch M1 Pro 16512.
Okay. Anybody else have new MacBook
No.
M1s? Okay. I
Brittany
do.
Almost does.
Yeah, I do. It's sitting over there. I'm not obviously using it here. And believe it or not, it's been crazy here, and I have had limited time to play with it. So, but what I have played with is kind of staggering how
Wow.
fast and how good it is. So and that's really the extent of my experience. So, Guy, how's the Mini doing for you?
Currently I have Farrago and Zoom, and I have a thing of GarageBand running, and I don't know, 3 or 4 other programs, audio MIDI setup, and of course Skype and everything else. And it's just going, yeah, give me more. It's amazing. This is such a great little computer. If everything works the way that I think it's going to work, this is going to definitely replace my 2017 4.2 gigahertz, 40 gigs of RAM, 3 terabyte iMac.
Wow.
It's crazy fast. I'm just waiting. Seriously, I'm just kind of waiting to see if some of the other apps that I use on a regular basis will be updated. Like so far, the only thing that has not worked has been Ecamm's call recorder. Everything else that I've thrown at this machine, whether it's in emulation mode through what are they calling that?
Rosetta 2.
Rosetta 2, whether it's Rosetta 2 or whether it's native or whether it's a beta soft, doesn't matter. The computer just goes, I don't care. I'll run it all. Thank you. It's amazing.
Yeah. You know that in my mind, when I was doing some audio transcoding with mine, and they were like, one of them was a file that was upwards of 2 gigabytes, and I was scraping audio and turning it into something else. And because that's apparently my idea of a good time now. And the progress bar like never stopped. Like as it, and this was, oh, by the way, did I mention this was across the network? So the actual original file was living on the NAS. I keep pointing back there because it lives in the closet. So the original file was on the NAS, and it's in the closet. I don't judge. And so the progress bar file? Just kept going across, and it never stopped. It wasn't like, Chuck, you let him in. You brought this on yourself. It wasn't like doing things on my 2015 machine where like it would go for a little while and then like emotionally prepare and then do the next batch and then like hold on a minute. And then it wasn't like that. It just kept all the way across, completely steady the entire time. It was amazing. It was super duper awesome.
What do you use to transcode audio?
This was just like a one-off quickie batch of audio. So I was just doing it with Fission because Fission works. Yeah. So I haven't
Rogue Amoeba app.
Yeah, I didn't do anything else with it. Anything special. I was just this, I have this MKV file and I'm scraping some audio off of it and I have to chunk it out into chapters and let's export it back to the NAS again. And in so doing, like my computer never broke a sweat. I have yet to hear the fan on my MacBook Pro.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I say that now as I have Chrome with at least 2 internets worth of tabs open, Slack using as much processor as it's probably ever, as much as it can get its teeth on, it's going to start to chew on. Zoom, which always fires up the fans on my 2015. And like, I probably still have Fission running and I've got system preferences open because I'm trying to figure out why it won't connect to my trackpad. I think my other computer won't let go of it, but and it won't flinch. And I'm betting that it's not going to break a sweat sitting here and hanging out on Zoom with y'all for an hour either. So yeah, I'm very excited about what I'm actually going to be able to do with it once I start recording podcasts and stuff. Thank you to Rogue Amoeba, who finally put out public betas of everything that I need in order to get to move to my new computer today. So I'm excited about that too. Thank you.
And remember, this is not only are these the low end computers, this is the first generation of this new platform. And the fact that
And it's,
I mean, right out of the bat, it's just, everything is just working. I before this machine came, it came on Monday night, came last night. I've been watching videos on YouTube from people that have been doing various things with it. Oh, I also used DaVinci on this machine. And even though that's not native, it worked great.
mm-hmm.
And I was listening to everyone just gushing about this machine, all of these machines. And it was like, oh, come on, there's gotta be something. And when I get it, I'm gonna make it beg for mercy. And so far I'm sitting there going, no, I'm sorry. I should never have doubted you, because it's just working so well.
Like, in the back of my mind, I was just seeing that GIF from the Matrix of Morpheus going, like, that's what I keep thinking when my computer's doing stuff. Is like, I'm waiting for you to actually bring it, you know? Yeah.
So Kelly, so this is the first generation of Apple's chips. How come you're not doing the Star Trek rule of betas?
It's not.
Because it's not. Yeah.
It's not. It's just their first one in a thing called a Mac.
It's just the first big one is all. And yeah, Andrew, I don't think you were here when I was talking about having ordered it, because we had right after the event, not the high speed event, but right after the M1 event, Mr. Kelly was like, so what actually happened today? And I was explaining it to him. And then he was like, so all of a sudden they're making their own processors. And I'm like, no, it's not all of a sudden. It's only been coming since 2007. Right. And I'm like, this and this and this and this, and all these reasons why, like, it made sense for them to do it, why it was going to totally work, why all of it was fine. And I realized, like, as I was telling him all of this, that I was selling myself on pulling the trigger on a new machine instead of getting an another Intel, like, you know, the last generation of the Intel computers before switching everything over. So
yeah.
So before we go any farther, I want to make sure we welcome Mr. Mark Fuccio. Mark, welcome. It's good to see you. And yet another crazy background.
Oh, there's no shortage of them. You know, hello, Chuck, David, Brittany, Frank, Guy, Andrew, and Kelly.
Hey.
Hi.
So happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Yes. Yes. Can anyone recognize what that background is? Because it's cropped a little bit.
I know what it is, and if you gave me a parameter, I could tell you, but I can't figure it out from here.
Is that a vacuum tube tester?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
There you go.
Yep.
That's why I'm the host.
ERCA.
That was I got an email with a bunch of joke images in it today, and that was one of them. So
wow.
I figured
There's one tube in there.
Yes. Yes, it's being tested.
Is it getting warm?
Look,
I don't know. I've been waiting all afternoon, and just it's not even glowing. It's clearly not working.
So it's got an M1 in it.
and Brittany's sitting there hugging a baby Yoda saying, what's a vacuum tube?
My emotional support animal.
Oh man.
Man.
So
it keeps me from doing things like buying things on my phone.
Yeah.
So I understand Kelly and Guy have M1s. Who else has M1 based Mac?
I have one that I have not had a chance to work with yet. It's sitting over there. I got the Air. Did you get anything, Mark?
No, because I blew my budget. When I bought this 16-inch MacBook Pro back in February. So, yeah.
No, don't complain. That's an awesome computer. I'm not an awesome computer. No, I'm listening to Frank make sad noises. Don't be sad.
Yeah,
I have a friend that's also in video, graduated from Temple as well. And he went out and bought the state-of-the-art 16-inch about half a year ago. And yesterday he was beside himself because he went to Apple and he looked at what the trade-in value is now. And the depreciation was like 70%. It drove him nuts. And I'm like, dude, you still got a great machine. It's going to last you years. Just go out and buy some accessories.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or like if you list it privately, like person to person, you'll always do better. So,
Yeah.
you know, if he really wanted to, he could list it and like find somebody that would give it a kind and loving home. I'm sure.
But 70%, I don't think is bad. I mean, given that this is,
well, was he losing 70% or was he getting 70%?
He's losing 70%.
See, so he's only getting
it was down to,
Oh.
he spent like close to 5,000 and then the trade-in came in around 1,750.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, and I was talking to him off the ledge. I'm like, dude, it's still a great computer. That's why you bought it.
So good. Yeah.
I'll offer him 1,100.
Really.
Gee, what a guy.
generous.
What a guy. What a guy.
Does he get a burger with that and a shake? Coffee?
I'm pleased to welcome RemoteHQ as the newest sponsor of MacVoices. RemoteHQ is a collaborative workspace where your team, no matter how large or how geographically diverse, can connect, interact, and collaborate to get things done. We've talked a lot about the changes that lockdown has brought to the enterprise, how some of us have adapted, and some of the challenges that we continue to face. RemoteHQ helps address a number of those and is different from some of the other options out there. One of the big ones for me is that RemoteHQ is web-based. No software to load on your machine, no need to worry about OS version compatibility, platform compatibility, or device compatibility. If what you are working on can run a browser, you can run RemoteHQ. That is a huge advantage for those companies who were caught off guard and are still struggling to get the collaborative thing up and running. But that doesn't mean you give up control. You can take control of any session at any time seamlessly, or just sit back and let your team roll with their ideas and discussions. And there isn't a huge learning curve with RemoteHQ because the controls and the whole experience is very intuitive. I've got lots to tell you about RemoteHQ, and I will as we go along. But for now, I want you to visit remotehq.com/partnerships/MacVoices to sign up for a free trial. When you're ready to bring your team on board, use the code MacVoices for 3 months free. Again, that's remotehq.com/partnerships/MacVoices for a free trial and 3 months free for you and your team to kick your business into high gear. Welcome and thanks to RemoteHQ for supporting MacVoices. So
Yeah.
for Guy and Kelly,
Yes.
Yeah.
16 gigs of RAM
Yes.
for both of you?
Yes.
Okay. So that seems to be the thing that, I keep seeing the articles come out that we have to think of this as a whole new architecture and we have to change our way of thinking about RAM. And I know you two guys, you two are power users. You would stack up the RAM in any machine that you could. So so have you run into any RAM related issues that you feel were RAM related?
Well, not yet because I haven't had any issues. But the reason I upgraded mine is because whatever I get is never the entry level. It's usually the mid with a bump, whether it's more RAM or a little more processor or something. Because once this computer is done living on my desk, it lives on Mr. Kelly's desk, and so he is excited about my new machine because he's about to get a new to you computer that's going to be well more than adequate for the stuff that he does on his machine. Because most of what he does, he's iOS first. He's on his phone or his iPad most of the time and does a little bit of stuff on the computer once in a while. Because most of what he does personally is not goof off on the computer. Like he's reading something on his phone, or he's like reading a book on his iPad or something like that. So there's not a lot that he requires that computer for. So it gets pretty low mileage. So it's going to be, like occasionally used as it sits behind me. So the only thing I could really upgrade was the memory. So that was what I did was got that. And I went with like the mid-range storage because it felt like too much money for the terabyte drive. Yeah. So I got the 512 and the only other option I had to bump up was the memory. So I just want to make sure that because my computer always has to live sort of 2 lives. So I need to make sure that it's going to be solid when it ends up on the desk behind me. So that was really the only reason I did it.
Yeah, I went with, because of the nature of what I do with audio and video. I decided just because I like having anything that I'm working on as far as audio or video, I like having on the drive that my apps are on and everything else are on. and then I'll move everything to an archive later on. But as I'm working on it, I want to have space. I want to have room to move. And I just, having less than a terabyte just doesn't feel right to me. So, the base price for this thing, I think, was $699. And by the time I did the upgrade to 16 gigs and went to the 1 terabyte drive, it's still not especially now that I've seen how this thing works, it's still not an unreasonable price of $12.99 for this computer.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And the fact, and like I said, I've got a 4.2 gigahertz quad core i7. I think this thing is this late 2017 iMac. And if this thing continues to work like it does, this is going to go away. This is going to find a new home someplace. And the only other thing I'll need to buy is another Dell 27-inch monitor.
Hey, Guy, what monitor are you using?
I have it on it's a Dell S2721Q, something like that. It was on sale. I don't know if you guys have Micro Center anywhere near you.
Yeah.
Used to.
Okay. They have these on sale. This is a 4K monitor. So this will go all the way up to 4K. They had them on sale for $300 and it's dual HDMI inputs. So I basically have, this also serves as a secondary monitor for the iMac. So one HDMI input is coming from the iMac. The other one is coming from the new M1 Mac Mini. And the only kind of bummer about it is I've got to switch it manually through the controls on the monitor, which frankly suck. But I may go ahead and get a switcher. That's actually going to depend. If I keep the iMac, I'll get a switcher. If this becomes my regular everyday daily driver, then I won't bother and I'll just have to get another one of these Dell monitors because they're actually quite nice. It's like 350 nits as compared to the iMac, which is the 5K at 500. So is it as beautiful and great and marvelous as the iMac 27-inch screen? No.
But it's a Dell, and it's $300.
Right. So
exactly.
It's good enough.
The Dell monitors are amazing.
Inches? Did you say it's 27 inches?
Yeah.
Wow. Dell makes great monitors.
They do. I have a Dell 24-inch IPS display. And when I got it, 27 wasn't very common. And Apple was still in the monitor game. That's how long I've had this thing. And my complaint about the $260 I spent on my monitor over the Apple one was that sometimes it's hard to see over the pile of money I saved by not buying the Thunderbolt display. That was my biggest complaint in that moment because it's the same innards. So to me, it was it made no difference. And then a kind and wonderful friend of mine sent me a button with Clarice the dog cow on it. So I took that and I stuck it over the Dell logo in the center. And now it's not a Dell monitor anymore.
So did Apple fix that problem of that pile of money?
They always fix the problem.
Are you kidding? I'm coming to you from my new computer. Yes. And not only am I coming to you from my new computer, but I'm also sitting here awaiting delivery of face masks from Bill and Ted that say "Be excellent to each other" on them.
Cool.
Because hello. And also the money goes to a charity that matches up healthcare workers with local restaurants. And so the charity buys dinners from local restaurants and delivers them to healthcare workers and keeps everybody going.
Oh, nice.
So they're the proceeds go to charity. And additionally, it says "Be excellent to each other" on it. And additionally, my VESA didn't stand a chance is really what the deal was. So, yeah.
What guys are ready to stick something up?
That's quite a mess.
He was all matchy.
He's waiting for a train in Arizona.
The only problem with this mask is the air comes up underneath and fogs my glasses.
Yep.
Thank you for
that.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Thanks for the review.
A Band-Aid will fix that. I saw somebody the other day.
People have designed weird frameworks you can put onto your masks now that prevent that. It's pretty neat.
I saw a doctor that said that like he just sticks a Band-Aid on it because he wears glasses and said it was a lot easier. So
see, I just use Staples.
That also works.
Yeah, right into the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, just right in the just below the bone there. Like, yeah, they stick really
good. Yeah, you got to get the long ones.
Depending on your activities in the 70s, you may not even feel it.
See, it may not even matter.
My activities last week, I wouldn't feel it.
This is another night.
Andrew, what did I tell you about cocaine?
Control.
Andrew, what I'm saying.
Well,
so I'm just going to look judgingly at you,
I'll bring it into some tech here. So
thank you, David. Rescue me.
My MacBook Pro, it's an 8-core i9 processor, 2019. It's a workhorse. I mean, it's got enough speed that makes me happy, but I'm still going to think about it to next year because it'll be 2 years and I can get a interest-free loan through my wife's work, and we'll probably upgrade to the M2. We're assuming that that's going to be the next one coming up. So I think I'm happy, and I'm going to wait it out and see where it goes. And she's already complaining that she doesn't like. I bought her a 13-inch MacBook Pro, and she doesn't like the size. She likes the size of the screen. So if it gets this computer, I mean, this is a pretty good computer for
that's a
what
beefy
it does.
Machine. Yeah,
it's very beefy. I mean, it's 512 and it's a Core i9, 8-core processor. So I mean, it's good. Other than the fan. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of that, and of having to hear that all the time. But no, I'm hearing a lot of good things about these M1s, and that Mac Mini is a good deal. And we're already talking to a lot of people that had bought just the base model and they're perfectly happy with it. So it's a good machine. So
if I had to do all over again, I would have gotten the 8 gig.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine just for that, I would think. But you also got to remember these are all the first generation models for Apple and these M1 processors. Yeah. So everybody's got to think that too. If you're not ready to jump in just yet, I'm kind of happy. I'm going to just kind of sit it out and see where Apple goes, next June.
I want to see what they put in the iMac. 24-inch iMac. Yeah.
I think
that's going to be an insane piece of
I want to see what the iMac Pro turns into with an M chip. Yeah. I really want to know.
Be one though.
There's something
really because they can charge you extra money for the space gray. So yeah, have you met Apple?
So there's something interesting going on here. We were talking about this transition before it happened. We all knew it was coming. And there was a healthy percentage of people dreading it. And now, just taking the temperature of this group, everyone is salivating. If they didn't get one, they want one, and they want it right now.
And do you know why?
What, Kelly?
Do you know why?
Well, sure. I mean, it's first of all, it's a shiny new, but it's the raw power.
I mean, yes, but Chuck, it's boring because everything I give it, nothing happens. Everything I've done, nothing happens. The migraine assistant even worked the first time. Like, this is the most boring computer upgrade sorry, I said migration assistant. I always call it migraine assistant because I have to use the migraine assistant. So it's not Freudian. It's
a new name.
Fact. It's the migraine assistant, because when you're done, all it's helped you do is get a migraine. It doesn't usually get your stuff from your computer to your computer. So like the transition was super boring. Doing anything I want to do so far on my computer is super boring. It's like the best review I can give it is that so far it hasn't been exciting at all. I mean, yeah, I licked it when I took it out of the box because hi. But aside from that, like,
hello, sailor.
And you didn't, guy.
Really missed an opportunity.
I'm not going to believe that for a minute.
Yeah, you were doing it I needed paper towels. I needed paper towels as I was bringing it out.
For the record, it tasted like apple, just so we're clear. Now then, here's the thing, Chuck, is that like it is the most boring. So far, it's been the most boring upgrade. And the thing that made me think that I was thinking about earlier today as I was trying to do stuff with it was it's like my phone. When you get a new phone, you don't think about how much memory you bought in it this time. You don't think about what processor's in it. When you get the new phone, even if you migrate all your junk from the old one, so like if you had anything weird happening before, like you're probably carrying that over too. Like it's a very boring upgrade process. And then you get the new one and it's just faster and maybe the screen's prettier or you got a better camera or whatever, like ancillary feature is the reason that you pulled the trigger this time. So that's been the
Unless you're David and your stuff didn't migrate or back up over.
Yeah, okay. An iPhone. Right.
That's
sorry.
But
Kelly,
everything you throw at it has been like not boring, which is what's the most exciting thing about it, which makes it such a weird upgrade.
No, but you're missing the point. That's not the question. The question, the comment I was making was that everybody was kind of dreading this, that, oh my God, we're heading in this new direction. And now everybody is like hyper excited. Like, gee, I either want this new machine right now, or I want Apple next week to release my preferred machine, whether it be an iMac or Mac Pro or
because everybody
challenge you on the everyone's.
Yes.
Yeah.
As a general rule, there's no everyone in opinions. There were people who were worried because there are risks in a transition like this. There are.
And longtime people remember how it sucked last time. As soon as they said Rosetta 2, if you were real quiet, all the old school Apple nerds went, because we remember the first one and it sucked rocks.
No,
well, and it didn't help that those initial Intel machines were Core Solos. That was a Core really Solos. Poor decision.
Right.
Yeah, but in this particular case, Apple and Apple didn't really have a lot of choice back then. But in this particular case, because this is all Apple, they made the decision to come out of the gate with something. And on the low end, that's the part that still blows my mind. They made the decision to come with something out of the gate that blows away nearly every single computer they have that still has Intel inside, and on the low end. And I don't know. I'm reasonably sure that there will be iMacs. I kind of wish they wouldn't, but okay. I mean, it's an established brand, and there are people that like to have an all-in-one design. I would like to see some more innovation from Apple in the form of different types of desktops, like maybe like the Mac Mini is your low end, and then another one for a mid-range, and then a different one for the Mac M4 Mac Pro or whatever they want to call it later down the line.
We kicked that around about there being like a Mac Mini Pro, or like the Mini SE,
the number
or something like that
of desktops they have now is the maximum they will ever have. They do not sell as well as laptops. There are 4. That is a lot.
Yes.
When that is not their main deal.
But wait, you got the Mac Mini, you've got the iMac, and you got the Mac Pro. What's the other one?
iMac Pro.
The iMac Pro. It's its own thing.
Same form factor.
Which is also 3 years old. They still haven't updated.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah. Well, yes, but there are currently 4 different ones you can buy.
Oh.
And
okay, so
they're never going to have more than that. Maybe they may replace one with another one, but they won't ever have a higher number. It's just not. It doesn't make any financial sense.
Yeah. We will have more of this part of this Mac Voices Live discussion about some of Apple's past OS transitions, and then we shift gears a little bit to something more current, specifically Apple's decision to charge developers 15% as opposed to 30%, at least for some developers, in the App Store. That's next time on Mac Voices. I hope you'll join us. Until then, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.